a year.
Now, still on matters aviation, Air France has today opened its offices in the country, making Kenya the regional headquarters for half Africa, including regions such as South Africa, Ghana, Nigeria and Senegal to the west, as well as Djibouti. Now, the Kenyan headquarters will serve at least 24 countries in the region. Jimmy Mbogo was there and joins us with more. Good afternoon, Jimmy. Tell us more.
Indeed, thank you very much, and a very good afternoon to you too, Nyakundi. Yes, as you rightfully said, this is actually the big story in aviation, and particularly within the business segment of in the country. That is the launch, or rather the opening of KLM Air France offices in Nairobi. Now that makes Nairobi the regional headquarter, of course, for East Africa, and also just touching on some of the countries in West Africa. We're talking about Ghana, we're talking about Nigeria. Now we want to understand the thinking behind this this decision to make Kenya the headquarter. Of course, this Air France and KLM are one of those airlines that have really been significant players within the Kenyan market. And now to help me understand the thinking behind this launch and the opening of this office, particularly in Nairobi, I'm going to be joined by that is Air France and KLM Senior Vice President for long haul, that is Zoran. The other name will, of course, I'll give it to you and let you try to pronounce it, Nyakundi. But Mr. Zoran, thank you so much for making time to speak to KTN. So first things first, help us understand in terms of the game plan for the region and for Africa, particularly making Kenya your regional headquarter. What are you targeting, number one, and also in terms of the business significance, why Kenya?
Kenya is very well placed on the map to be the center of this new establishment, new headquarter of half Africa, this new region called NGESA, so Nigeria, Ghana.
When you look at Africa's contribution towards the aviation and air transport, it's a mere 3%. What needs to happen to change that and to increase a lot of air traffic within Africa and within the East African region?
Yes, indeed. It's for the time being quite close, especially when we compare to the biggest area volume between Europe and North Atlantic. It cannot compare, but we still believe, and we are very well placed, the Group Air France KLM, that Africa has a huge potential of growth. First of all, because there is a natural growth in the economy. The perspective, when we look at the GDP growth in the coming years, we are quite confident and quite optimistic, and that's why we continue to invest, bringing more flights, more seats, with new products, new aircraft to Africa. But I think what really Africa needs currently is to develop also intra-Africa aviation. I think this is also where we don't have to act. We act through our partnerships. We have various partnerships from West Africa to East Africa and also South Africa. But this is more the role of the African countries to try to develop and to have some kind of alliances and to develop this kind of traffic, intra-Africa traffic.
All right, let's talk about Kenya, particularly on the issue of traffic. We're talking about passenger traffic. We're talking about the size of cargo that is normally shipped out of Kenya. And I'm sure this is one of the considerations that you made in making Kenya the regional headquarter. By what margins are you looking to grow these numbers?
We have grown already this year, for example, to give you a precise figure, we have grown compared to last year by 15%. And when we compare also in terms of seats, our offer compared to pre-COVID, we are nearly in the same range. This is just for Kenya.
In terms of the number of flights that come to Kenya, particularly Air France, KLM flights that come to Kenya, either on a weekly basis or on a daily basis, are we looking at this being increased? And also, you've talked about your partnership with Kenya Airways, and we know that both of you are members of the Sky Team. Are you looking at deepening this partnership, and to what end?
Yeah, in terms of for this year, I think there will be no short-term no change, because in fact we have increased already, because in fact Air France mainly was operating only 3 flights pre-COVID weekly, and then to 5 flights just before the pandemic. Now we are daily. And plus we have disconnect, because the flight used to fly till Zanzibar. Now it's fully dedicated the capacity to Nairobi. And KLM is there for a long time with a daily service that works perfectly. And we have also indeed plans for development. We are discussing it currently both with our partners, with KQ, and also, of course, with the government, because we need also to get the traffic right for that. But of course, but it's not for 23. It's more maybe for next year. So obviously, for the time being, it's the time is at consolidating already our position, and because we have grown a lot, and for the time being, the dynamic is very good. Our teams here are doing a great job, and I'm very proud of it.
All right, thank you very much, Jean. And of course, Nyakundi, there's a lot of conversation within the aviation industry on to do with sustainability. And if you allow me, I just want to show you one of the bags that now the airline will be donating, that is to different schools. This, I believe, from what we have had, has been made from some of what would be considered waste material that has been repurposed to be able to create these bags. And of course, we'll be giving you more details in terms of what also CS Kipchumba Murkomen has said, just the whole issue about a new terminal that they will be looking to attract private investors to be able to build before the next election. And of course, that will be quite interesting to see. But for now, back to you.
All right, Jimmy, thank you so much for that story. All right, now the name, yeah.